Okay. Let's see if anybody joins up. So, give it a few minutes, see if anybody joins up. If you're watching this after it's aired, please subscribe so you know when I go live every Saturday. And and follow on TikTok as well. I can get to 1,000. They have 1,000 follower threshold to go live over there. So, follow on TikTok and subscribe here. Seen one was in here, but I don't know if I've been having. It might have been having computer problems or something. I don't know, or they just didn't care. Let's see if people join up today. Trying to see if I can get my laptop to work today. Come on, laptop, work. I don't know what is wrong with this thing. Come on. Let me see if I can find. Hold on, I'm trying to get my. So I optimize my computer, get it working a little better. There we go. Anybody gonna come in this week? There's somebody. I know I'm usually actually ending a live about now, but I got a late start to this one this week because my computer is not one to act right today. I've been trying to clean it up. I ran CCleaner, now I'm trying to get it defragged and see how it does. But people ready for Halloween out there? I love Halloween, so I've been working on my costume today. Keep saying somebody comes in, but then they leave again. I don't know if that's different people, or if there's one person having computer issues like I'm having. Usually I have at least one or two people in here by now. But yeah, that looks good. I like that. Let's see. Okay, let's see if it wants to run better now that I defragged it. Ooh, that popped right up. Nice. back to my Facebook. I don't know why my computer pops up with Daniel Boone Regional Library when I... Oh, I entered no password. Shut up. There we go. Come on, load up. Working a little better now that I... That's looking a lot... Yeah, that's doing a lot better now that I defragged it. Now, let's get over here to everything. Finally, my computer is working a little better. Got it cleaned up, it looks like, so. Now, hopefully, things go better for me. I'm trying to respond to something. Okay, there we go. We are up and going. Man, I really need to get a... Yeah, dismiss. I'm not taking no stupid offer for YouTube TV. Let's... Come on. Okay, let's see if this wants to work here. I'm not getting playback on my laptop yet. It's saying it'll begin shortly, so... Tell me to restart my device. I see a person in here. If that... Whoever did... What? Make a comment. Let me know you can actually see the video you're watching. Or is there something going wrong with the video? Because I've been having a lot of internet troubles. Let me know. How is it on your end? Last time. I can hear and see well. Okay, good. Cause normally I have feedback here with my laptop, so I film here with my phone, and of course the comments scroll up through the bottom. But I also have the laptop here, so that I can see the comments much easier and reply if I want to reply in text form or just talk the way I normally do. But it's not one to come up here on the computer for some reason. I don't know what is with my computer. So I've run CCleaner, I've defragged it. I don't know what it is. But as for the first comment, oh, there it goes. Slowly, it's starting. So I've been thinking about our conversation last time. This museum, maybe. There's been, there's already been talks with the fans that if this, get this attraction open and it's a success and it's as popular as we hope it'll be, that, we could do other ships. Now, right now, there's not really a specific ship in mind. one of the most mentioned ships often is actually the Britannic. Would be to do, since Titanic and Olympic were so similar, doing an Olympic really wouldn't be that big of a difference. But if we did a Britannic, then that could really be an interesting dynamic there. There's been talks about maybe a Lusitania. I said a few of, several different ships, some of them more historically noteworthy than others, more iconic, more known than others. But, there's always been the option of doing other ships. In fact, I never actually did the work, but I did pitch the idea when I was talking with the city of Long Beach about the Queen Mary out there when she was first facing reconstruction because she's falling apart. I discussed the idea of creating a Queen Mary replica attraction idea and then using material from the real Queen Mary to help build it. So you're sort of like keeping the ship alive in a will. Because the one thing I told them, and I followed the Queen Mary page on Facebook as well, and with them, they need to get her out of that water. Leaving a ship sitting static in a bit of water like that is very destructive to the hull. It will destroy that ship. It will rust out that hull much faster than if that ship's in use. That's why most ships end up, that aren't in use, go into dry dock. And that's what I told them, was they really need to put her into a dry dock. You've already got a cofferdam around the ship to protect it a little bit from the elements of the ocean that it's in. You could build a secondary cofferdam around it, make it watertight, drain all of that water out, and just build a dry dock around her. Yes, it would be expensive, but in the long run, it would end up saving even more money because you wouldn't have to keep doing all these repairs throughout, every few years or so. I don't know how fictional Lusitania. What do you mean? Lusitania? They've done a Lusitania movie, actually. Not really super fictional, but, not like, not like the Titanic. But, movies can be done about anything. But, yeah, but, of course, you could always do like they just did. Was it last year or was it the year before? I forget when they came out with that Titanic 666, that horror film that was supposed to be like I guess I never watched it. I had absolutely no interest in watching it, but I guess it was supposed to be like that horrible Titanic 2 movie that they did, but a horror film version of it. A friend of mine watched it, and he said it was absolutely horrible. One of the worst movies he's ever seen. Yeah, I've seen a lot of bad Titanic stuff over the years. I said, if you look right here, that's the Julian Fellows miniseries Titanic from 2012, and that one was not that great either. The sets were very cheap and cheesy. The acting was overacting, and it was not that great. I've got Titanic Blood and Steel, I think it's called, up there in the top somewhere, I think. And it was better. They focused more on the construction and the history of the ship, and it kind of went through construction into the sinking and all that. There were still parts that weren't that great. There was a few parts that were kind of historically inaccurate. Like they covered the collision between Olympic and the Hawk, but in Blood and Steel, the way they did it, instead of hitting the stern on the starboard side, which created a permanent list, and it twisted the back end of the ship, and there was always a permanent list in the stern of Olympic after that. They, in Blood and Steel, or Steel and Blood, or whatever it was called, they had it on the port side bow instead. They messed it way up. Came out this year. Let me see. Let me check something. No, last year. Titanic 666, 2022 film. So, I think it came out the end of last year around Halloween, because being a slasher film, so. It feels like this year, but it's been out, I'd say, about a year now. Came out last year. Just Googled it. I said, I've never watched it. I don't plan on watching it. I'd have no interest in watching it. I think those kind of movies is just very disrespectful to what those people actually went through. But that is one movie that would probably never get shown at my attraction. You know, I've done some videos on TikTok over the theater, how the theater would work, all of that, and I did a video on how what screen I'd use. There's these little modular like LED, LCD screens that you can. All you do is plug them in, snap them into a frame, and you can put as many as you want together and make a screen as big as you want it to be. Excuse me. Yeah, so I've been. Yeah, that's one movie I don't think I would ever show. I don't know, maybe. You know, because I said it's not really my. Granted, it's technically my attraction. I've been designing it. Titanic Truths owns, the attraction. It's up to the fans, and there may be fans who want to see that for Halloween. I don't know. So it's not, that part's really not up to me. If it was up, if I had full control, I would say no, never. But if people want to see it, then yeah, I would probably let it go on. But I said, I know if you've followed me on TikTok, you've probably seen my videos. I got the detailed deck plans done, finally. Those were a pain in the butt. Because when I went to put them all together into the big listed profile of the decks, some of them glitched out, and C-Deck lost pretty much everything I had done to it. The entire museum, the offices, the conference rooms, all of that just was gone. It went right back to normal. And F deck messed up, and it was a pain in the butt here. Now Britannic horror films being made. Who knows? Probably gonna be a sequel to Titanic 666. I know they're planning on making a film about the Titan submersible incident already. A friend of mine that I have on Facebook, William Brower, he's author, he's wrote a few books, and he's a big Titanic buff. He's got a petition to try to stop them from making it, because it's very disrespectful. The sub incident just happened this summer, and they're already wanting to make a movie about it. I mean, it's so, on one hand, it's very, very disrespectful to, PH, Paul Henry Nargeolet, to Stockton Rush, to all of the others that were lost in that tragedy. The father and son who were lost, all of it. But on the other hand, even with Titanic itself, Titanic sank in April, and I think it was by August of 1912, they already had the very first movie about the ship out, and it actually starred Dorothy Gibson, a survivor of the Titanic, who was an actress at the time. Now, unfortunately, there is no known surviving copy of the movie. There's it's just, but yeah, I said Dorothy Gibson was an actress, and she was, I think she was like headed back to America after filming a movie on location, or taking a vacation or something to head back to, I don't know exactly why she was traveling, but she survived. And then just a few months later, she was already starring in a movie about the Titanic. And it's just, it's like making a movie after. Yeah, I'm sure you give people time, they'll make a movie about about anything. If these strikes, the strikes going on out there in Hollywood right now, I think it was the writer's strike met a deal and was able to come to an end, but the actor's strike is still going on. I stand with those. I'm with them 100%, because what those studios are trying to do is just ridiculous. They're essentially wanting to just eliminate Hollywood, period. I know I've talked about it before on my normal TikTok, on my personal TikTok, before it got permanently banned. I have a new TikTok now for myself, but I don't know if I ever mentioned it in here, but during some of our movie talks. But no, essentially what the studios are wanting to do is use AI to write the scripts, AI to film the movies, do all the computer software, all the computer effects, control the camera movement, control all the cameras, do all that. They even want to scan all of the actors in Hollywood and create an AI form of that actor that the studio would own completely. The actual real actor would have absolutely no control over that computerized form of it. And so, they could take any actor they want, make them do anything they want, even if the actor themselves would never do that in real life, and use computers to film it and computers to write it, so they never have to pay anybody. And it's basically computerized slavery. Clear Vision's in here. Good day. How's your day going? But yeah, with what's going on out there, in Hollywood, I said they're basically wanting to make computerized slavery, and the even as bad as all that is, having just complete fake actors, fake scripts, all of that. It would create a thing where they could essentially make a movie for free, and then you would never have a movie bomb ever again. See, I've said before, when you make a movie, you have a budget you have to follow, and depending on how much of that budget you make back, and if you make a good profit above that budget, depending on how much you make, it could warrant a sequel because the studio could capitalize on that again and everything. And when a movie bombs and doesn't make back what it cost to make, any sequels it may have had planned go out the window. I mean, look at was it the 2016 female Ghostbusters movie? Now, I love all those actresses. Kate McKinnon, Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy, Leslie Jones especially. I love her. She is hilarious. I love all the actors that were in that, but the movie itself sucked. And it had a sequel planned before it even hit theaters, but the movie bombed so horribly that the sequel was scrapped. But if Hollywood was able to use AI for everything, you would never have anything bomb, and so you would end up with untold amount of crappy sequels that would have never been made otherwise. And it's so that's why like I said, I stand firmly with the actors and the writers and everything during these strikes, because I think AI should not be allowed to be used for commercial use. It should be for non-commercial entertainment purposes only. Any form of trying to make money using AI should be illegal. It should basically just be a computerized toy game, basically. Just something to play around with, not really to do anything substantial with it. Yeah, and basically, yeah, it'd be turning it into the Matrix. You'd have computerized actors doing most likely stuff they would never do. Like if you had, an act like, like Jessica Alba. She's been an actress for years and decades now. And one of her stipulations, and she doesn't do as much now, I think, but one of her stipulations was always that she never wanted to really do a nude scene, like a lot of other actresses have done. So she's never really done a full-on nude scene or sex scene or any of that kind of stuff like a lot of other actresses. But with the AI form, they could make her do a full-on adult film if they wanted to, and she'd have no say over it. That's what they're trying to do with the AI, and it's not right. And sadly, the amount of people who just say, do it, let them do it, it doesn't, and think these people on strike are just ridiculous and would rather side with the studio is astronomical. I've gotten in arguments with people online about the strike. Because like I said, imagine if your boss, whatever job you do, could create a computerized version of you to do your job exactly as you do it, or make it, and then use that computer form of you to do that work, and you get no more job. You have no more income, but yet you're still there doing the work as a computer. And they could even make you do all kinds of extra work without pay that you would normally never do. That's why I said this AI stuff should be for non-commercial entertainment purposes only. It's just, yeah, but anyway, off of the Hollywood stuff. Are y'all ready for Halloween next week? We're doing a because I'm on dialysis, which I talk about in some of my videos here and there on TikTok and stuff. And so we're doing a dress-up thing at my dialysis clinic. Not this Monday, but next Monday, the 30th. They're doing it Monday and Tuesday. Because you have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday shift, and then a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday shift over there for people. So Monday is dress-up day for the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesday is dress-up day for the Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday day. So I go only on Mondays and Fridays, but I've been working on my costume today, and I bought this. It's a rubber chest piece. It was very boring. That was the original color when it came in. Very horrible. So I dressed it up. I got a kit of fake blood makeup stuff to go with it. Dressed it up. I bought a brand new white shirt just to rip it apart and make it all bloody. And then the really funny part, this is the funniest part of this whole thing, is I'm expecting the Kool-Aid in tomorrow. I could only get a 16-pack of it, but I like Kool-Aid. That'll last me a while. Called Blasting Berry Cherry Kool-Aid. And it was the reddest, darkest red Kool-Aid I could find. Because I got these for drink pouches. There's a syringe here. And you fill it up through here. And then you can sit here and you can unclip this and, get you a drink out of it. And so I could only get these in a 10-pack. Unfortunately. So what I'm going to end up doing probably is filling them all. I'm going to make a unsweet Kool-Aid and a normal sweeted Kool-Aid. And then I'm going to use these labels here to label between, sweet and unsweet. However, I'll figure out how I want to do the code. And then I'll hand them out at dialysis. I'll probably hand them off to the nurses and tell them, if anybody wants a bag of Kool-Aid, I got sweet and unsweet, and I'll let them know what the codes are so they can hand them out. And they can hand them out to people, so people have something to drink for Halloween there. You been making a horror film based on Lusitania? That could be interesting. I'm not really the only not really film but video thing I want to make is I'm really trying to make a really good promotional video for the attraction. I want to, once the place is open, I've got all kinds of ideas for promotional videos, but you got to have the facility to be able to do it, because I've got like B-roll ideas of like a drone shots above the wreck, like you're flying over it and you're seeing the whole facility, all of that. But it's just figuring that out first. So But no, I said I have written scripts before, actually. I wrote one, never went anywhere, but I actually wrote my own episode of The Big Bang Theory. That would have starred, if it would have been made, it would have actually been an episode that had Patrick Stewart in it. It started off with Sheldon and Raj playing 3D chess there in the apartment, like Sheldon and Leonard had done a few times. And they were having an argument over who would win at a chess game between Professor X or Jean-Luc Picard, both of whom were played by, of course, Patrick Stewart. And then there's a whole, of course, Sheldon stick to his guns the way he did in the show, his characteristics. And there was a beeline subplot about Penny trying to get a role in a movie, and she was coming up against Will Wheaton. Give you an idea how early this was in the show. This was before Bernadette and Amy even came into it. They're not in the script at all. This was before they were introduced. This was like the first or second season, I think, when I started this one. But eventually in the show, they would go to the Cheesecake Factory, and Patrick Stewart would have actually been there, and that's where they ran into him. And then Sheldon gets into the way Sheldon was, and starts going crazy, and ends up getting another restraining order, like he's gotten from other people on the show. He got one, I think, from Leonard Nimoy. He's got one from a few other. They mention it in one of the episodes, but yeah, that was one I did. I started a Dukes of Hazzard reunion script at one point, but the computer I had that on just shot. The hard drive crashed on it and I lost it. It was going to see Bo and Luke and Daisy. Daisy has a daughter now, or had a daughter in that one. And Cooter had a kid as well, older kid. If I remember correctly, it was a daughter as well. And she ran Cooter's garage. And Coy came back, because Vance has actually died in real life, but Vance is gone, Uncle Jesse's gone, Boss is gone, Roscoe's gone, Lulu's gone. I mean, a lot of the Dukes of Hazzard cast are gone. But it was going to have it where Huey Hogg had become boss over Hazzard, and he was even more corrupt than JD was. And so the Duke boys are not only fighting him on the corruption like they did with Boss Hogg, but I was going to have Bo himself actually run for boss there in Hazzard and end up winning in the end, but I never got to finish that script. I said, I do have, which I might read next Saturday since it's closer to Halloween. I don't know if any of you all remember the Halloween Town movies from Disney Channel. Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge, Halloween Town High, and then Return to Halloween Town. And Return to Halloween Town was the one where they recast Marnie, and it made a lot of people mad because everybody loved Kimberly J. Brown. I actually wrote a book, not a script, but a book. a fifth Halloween Town called Goodbye Halloween Town that kind of has callbacks to all 4 films, has a little tribute in there to Grandma Aggie, and everything. It's so, you know, I was gonna read it if I could get my TikTok up to 1,000 by Halloween, which on my main channel, my main personal channel, I was only a hair over 100 away from it. I could, but that channel's been permanently banned now for ridiculous reasons. So that's looking like it's out. So, no, I might, if, you know, I might read that one next week when it's closer to Halloween. Or, like we were discussing last week on the spirits and ghosts and paranormal stuff, I could also probably read my paper that I wrote on the scientific explanations for the human spirit, how that functions. Don't forget the one where Jack Skellington. Yeah, that's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah, that movie's almost as old as I am. I was 5 when that came out, maybe 6, I think. So that came out, what, 9? There she goes again. Yeah, 1993, that's what I thought. Yeah. I turned 6 that year. So, yeah. But now the Halloween Towns, these were Disney Channel original movies. These weren't big theater productions. Like Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff. These were Disney. These only aired on Disney Channel. But yeah, like I said I've got my. Oh, won't you stop? I've got like I said, it's a short-ish 10-chapter book on, like I said, called Goodbye Halloween Town. That, like I said, it pays homage to all 4 films. There's callbacks to all of them. All 4 films in it and everything. And if I could, which will probably never happen, but, if Disney Channel ever found it and decided to make it into an actual movie for their series, I'd have a lot of things I'd, of course, be firm on what I wanted, like, the original cast. Like, Kimberly J. Brown has to be back for Marnie. Now, there's a section where there's a little bit more of the time travel, like in the 4th film. And now, you could bring Sarah Paxton back in for that to kind of pay tribute to her time on the show in the movie. But I would be very firm on the original cast being used. All of them. Because I even give a lot of time to... I give pretty much all of the characters a bit of time to do things to advance the story. Like in Halloween Town, in the first, especially the 3rd and the 4th, she was never even seen, but Sophie, the little sister, had pretty much nothing to do. Now, she was there throughout the first one as a little cute little sister that was funny, made little quips, and helped remember how to light the amulet thing, the torch, whatever it was. the thing, whatever that thing was that Merlin had in the movie. I forget the name now for some reason. And then in the second film, she's there just mainly to fly on Dylan on the broom and then reveal Cal's dad to her mom. Nothing major. But yeah, by the third third movie, you only get a mention of her. In the fourth film, she's basically gone. So I gave Sophie a lot to do in the story. I gave Dylan stuff to do. I even gave Luke stuff to do. And then there's some other characters that are mentioned, and I always had the vision in my head that there's one scene in the book that I always had the vision in my head that if it was made into a movie, you would see many other Halloween Town characters from all of the films in the background of it, especially from the fourth film where they go to which university, and a lot of the students that Marnie went to school with would be there. They really wouldn't do or say anything, but you would see them in the background. That's always kind of been a vision in the back of my head. Because that was one thing, the way I wrote the book was basically like I was playing the movie in my head. I basically sat here and imagined what the movie would be like, and I wrote down what I was basically watching in my head. And the real funny part is the ending I wrote to Goodbye Halloween Town is kind of coming true in real life. Because in the book, a little bit of spoilers for the book, but in the book, Cal from the second movie is found. He comes back through some stuff. I won't know how he comes back and what he's doing, but he does come back. But in the very end of Halloween Town, Goodbye Halloween Town, him and Marnie kind of get onto the same page a little bit, because the whole premise of like the first four films was just everybody being basically tired of having the mortal world and the creature world separated and being segregated so much. And, that was what, Calabar in the first one wanted to end Halloween Town. Cal wanted to, in the second one, wanted to end Halloween Town because he was tired of the mortals making fun of creatures, and that was the gray spell, all that. The third one was about, getting creatures into the mortal world, going to school to show that they're uniting the two worlds. And that's, basically what so in the fifth one, they finally do bring all of Halloween Town back to the mortal world. But in the very end, Cal and Marnie actually end up getting married. And the funny thing is, in real life now, Kimberly J. Brown, who played Marnie, is actually engaged and marrying the guy who actually played Cal in Calabar's Revenge. They actually are getting married in real life. So I don't know if you would count that as predicting the future a little bit. It wouldn't be the first time I've done that, unfortunately. At least this one's a happy ending. At least this time I predicted something good. I kind of predicted Stan Lee's death one year. I did one of those Facebook posts where you write down all these predictions you think's going to happen in the next year. And several of them came true. And one of them that came true was I predicted that Stan Lee was going to die. And he did. That one always kind of got to me a little bit. But no, the Halloween Town, I said, I would love to see my Halloween Town book turned into a Disney Channel movie. I think it would be absolutely amazing, awesome, and amazing. I'd love watching that film. I've actually got up there somewhere, I don't know where, exactly. Actually, I think they're right here. I think it's this box right there is actually Halloween Town 1 and 2. So, yeah. So yeah, I would love to see, and and who knows, I might work on converting the book into a script. You know, hour long, maybe hour and a half long movie. I don't know. Maybe pitch it to Disney. See about getting it made. So since I saw Raise the Titanic. Yeah, I've actually got, you can't see it, but this, you'll see the tip of a stern piece sticking out right here. And over here on this case right here, I actually have a very small little 1/1200 scale version of the Raise the Titanic scene where the bow shoots out of the water. I've actually made that little set before. I've built actual Raise the Titanic models back when I was doing model work. Textured, colored, all of it. I've got pictures on my Facebook of them. I'd done the film version of the model as it appeared in the movie. But I've also got, it's still back here in my room. I've just never had the energy to finish it. The Trumpeter 1/200 scale model. I've bought 2 of them. One I've got sitting on a shelf, kind of cut up and taken apart. I was going to turn it into some wreck models. But again, I lost interest in models and never got around to it. But the other one is still a complete model. But I had designed an entirely brand new Raise the Titanic model. One that was had kind of elements of the film model, the book description, and the real life wreck of the Titanic and everything. And I built a 1/350 scale film version of the Raise the Titanic model, and I built I think it was about a 550 scale, 560 scale, somewhere in that range, of the newer version that I designed. And so you had the aft mast was broken in half, and just the top half like laid across the poop deck like it is in the movie. The forward mast was broken in half as well, but the top half had fallen back across the well deck and into the bridge like it had on the real wreck. Then I had it where in the movie you had that second funnel broke off. I moved that funnel up to the first one, which is the way it's described in the book and everything. And then I put the second funnel I left whole. The third funnel, I kind of blew out the top of it, like the boilers exploded, and it just exploded at the top of the funnel and shredded the top of the funnel, the top half, the top third of the funnel. It's just, so there's like jagged parts, there's twisted metal, all kinds of piping and stuff just rigged up to make it look, really destroyed. And then the fourth funnel has fallen down onto the deck, kind of as it's described again in the book and everything. And so, but like I said, I never got around to finishing that model. As I said, after I got sick last year, I ended up, because I got sick the end of March, mid-March, whatever, and I spent the end of March, 1st of April in the ICU on a ventilator for a few days. And after I got out of all that and finally got back home, I just had no interest whatsoever in doing models anymore. and I've still got model kits around here. I've got 3 brand spanking new, still in the pack, sealed Centennial Edition Academy 1/350 scale Titanic kit sets. Now, 2 of those are going to be free gifts for anybody that can afford, personally. I mean, yes, the prices are kind of high. I've gone over the prices before, but you can't expect tickets for $50, as I've said. But anybody that can buy a full 4-pack of tickets for the parlor suites will get one of these model kits. And I might even just change it where if you just buy any parlor suite ticket at all, you'll get one of these kits. And the first 3 tickets that get sold would get these 3 kits. But I'm hoping it'd probably take a few weeks, maybe a month or 2. It might be a little while, but I'm hoping to hear back. I just got some letters sent out to some people about the attraction. And so I'm hoping... I know one of them won't do anything because I've contacted them before, but I just wanted to do it again just to cover my bases. But I'm hoping some of the others might be intrigued enough to want to know more, maybe get involved, because if the people I sent these to are willing to get involved and help with this attraction, it not only could fully finance the attraction, it would make absolutely amazing promotional stuff for the attraction. But I'm not going to say who they are until I know how it goes. But yeah. But anyway, because I got such a late start today, because my computer had been acting up, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get ready to get me something to eat for supper. I got some things to do around the house here, and I will be back next Saturday. And I said, since next Saturday's the Saturday before Halloween, I might either, depending on what people want or whatever, I might either go through my scientific evidence of a human soul paper, or I might read my Halloween Town book. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get to when we get to Saturday next week. But until then, I'm gonna call it a day. I said, for those watching afterwards, I said be sure to like and subscribe so you know when I go live every week. And like I said, follow on TikTok as well, because I'm still trying to get that place up to 1,000 so I can go live over there. So next Saturday I'll be 30. Well, happy birthday. I turned 36 last Tuesday. Last week was a very busy week for me. I dialysis on Mondays and Fridays. So I had dialysis Monday, my birthday Tuesday, my mother's birthday Wednesday, I had court Thursday, and then dialysis Friday. So it was a busy week. So yeah. Happy birthday to you. And I will see you all next week as I figure out what I'm going to do next week, what we talk about. We'll see when we get there. But like and subscribe here to know when you get, and follow on TikTok. And like Titanic Truths on Facebook as well. So until next week.